Good evening, everyone. It is 7:07 p.m. and I hereby call to order the March 2019 meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We will begin with a village clerk's report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Yes. Okay, so in the past month, 2 payrolls were processed, 422 trash tags were sold. Our deputy clerk, Laura Gail Tyler, attended a planning board meeting, workshop, and also a training. And as everyone could be potentially well aware, yesterday was election day here in the village. And I have the results from those elections. There were 105 total votes, people that were present. There was 1 absentee ballot. Mayor Griffith, there was 102 present plus 1, so 103 votes out of 106. Trustee Israedi received 98 plus 1 absentee for 99. Angela Cole, 102 present plus 1 absentee for 103. So, congratulations, Mayor Griffith, for the 2-year term. Trustee Israedi, congratulations. And I'd like to just mention that I am more than happy, very, very pleased to be working with Angela Cole as she becomes a trustee and will take her spot behind the bench.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Clerk Bruno, and thank you to our elections.
Yes, both of our inspectors, Judy Scott
It's a long
and
day.
Cindy Lupinda. Yes,
Yeah. So.
absolutely.
And 106 people in an uncontested election, I think, is a pretty good turnout for Tivoli. And I, just want to thank everyone who exercised their civic duty and their civic right. You're out there campaigning, and they say, "Well, I don't need to come out." It means the world to us, the candidates. It's a sort of, I always think of it as an important little contract we have. You voted for me, I work for you, and even if you voted in the process, I want to work for you. But it just means a lot, so I'm pleased with the turnout, and definitely look forward to welcoming Angela Cole to the Board of Trustees. And she'll take her oath first Monday in April, and she'll be at our workshop on the 10th and our meeting on the 17th. So.
No, I think it was good. Yeah, for 106 and plus an absentee, which really just goes to show the dedication of a resident that they got out.
Got their act together.
Yes, they were prepared, they were ready, and they voted.
And Angela helped out because she sent out cards that notified a good number of people that there was an election. And that was,
So we could ride in on our coattails.
yeah.
She was a woman who did on the vote campaign.
Yes, excellent. So, thanks again, Clerk Bruno. Trustees, we have 2 sets of minutes in your binders. This is the regular board meeting minutes from February 20th, and then we have our special board meeting minutes from the 27th. So you've had a chance to review these. Is there a motion to approve both sets of minutes? That was the Deputy Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Trustee Schneider. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are approved. Moving on to the Treasurer's report. Thanks as always to Village Treasurer Bonnie Day. Okay, last month out of the general fund we spent $63,325.37. Out of the water fund, $7,626.93. The sewer fund, $3,962.52, for a grand total of $74,914.82. Is there a motion to accept, the Treasurer's report?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bills may be paid. Zoning report, Trustee Israedi, please.
Yes, our John Denton, our code enforcement officer, issued this report to the village board. He has reviewed and issued 4 building permits performed 6 building inspections, didn't get any complaints submitted or investigated, did not issue any zoning violations for failure to remove garbage cans, which is a good sign, and did 6 municipal searches and scheduled no fire inspections.
Right, and I see that he's got a note here, fire inspections will commence in April 2019. I know that he and the deputy clerk have been working on a letter that's going to go out to every space that needs to be inspected, and that process will get going. So when you get that letter, please comply so we can help keep you safe. All right, thank you, Trustee Israedi. Normally we'd have public comment on agenda items, but I just can't see any public out there, so that's all right. Maybe they'll be back next month, and we'll dive right in. First item of regular business is approval of a 2019 agreement between the DC Sheriff's Office and the Village of Tivoli for police protection services. This is housekeeping. We've been working with the Sheriff's Office to hire the deputies for our patrols and police coverage for a number of years now. And, I continue to be quite satisfied with the job they do, the professionalism, and their responsiveness. When the village has an issue, we can pick up the phone and get really good service from them. So we're happy to renew the 2019 agreement for services, and I'll ask now for a motion that we do so.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let me see here. We'll just go through Deputy Mayor Major,
Aye.
Trustee Israedi,
Aye.
Trustee Schneider,
Aye.
and I also vote aye. So we can do that. Great. Next we have, it's going to take a little explaining, but I'll read it first. A resolution establishing a date for a public hearing regarding the adoption of proposed local law A of 2019. A local law providing for the repeal of Chapter 71, smoking, and the amendment of Chapter 159, parks, regarding smoking. So, before I ask for the motions, what's going on here is there's a new state requirement that there needs to be no smoking around any libraries. And so it caused us to take a look. As you know, the libraries are suite tenants downstairs. Yes. So we need to comply in this building. We went back and looked, and Tivoli's smoking code is very, very old. It goes back probably decades. So we want to repeal it because since our smoking code was passed, there are state laws, and our smoking code still refers to, we're going to make places in Village Hall where it's okay to smoke. I mean, it's like that old. So there are other laws from larger entities that cover this stuff. We're going to repeal that section. And then we're also going to fine-tune our section about smoking in the park to add vaping. So, no smoking in the park, cigarettes, vaping, and no smoking in this building or out front of this building.
And no sparking either.
No smarking, don't start, yeah. Smirking is all right, smarking. So that's what's going on. We're going to propose, but because we're changing a local law, it does require a public hearing. And so we want to set that for Wednesday, April 10th at 7 p.m. Thank you, Trustee Schneider. Okay, so is there a motion that we set the public hearing regarding the smoking changes for 7 p.m. Here in this room, April 10th?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
All right, so that's to the Deputy Mayor. A roll call vote, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. All right, so public hearing on that on the 10th. Next we have the submission of the tentative 2019-2020 budget to the village board. I also serve as the budget officer, made the deadline, which is actually today, to have a tentative budget, which I must submit to the clerk. I did that yesterday, and the clerk has it to submit to the Board of Trustees. So, thank you. Okay, thank you. So, this is in your binders. Thank you, Clerk Bruno. So the process is that we will now set a public hearing on this tentative budget. We're going to propose to set that also for April 10th at 7:15. So we're not expecting a lot of comment on the vaping and smoking, but we're leaving plenty of time for the tentative budget. As of tonight, the Board of Trustees cannot touch or tinker with this tentative budget. It'll be posted on the village website tomorrow. Residents can review it. You can come into the clerk's office and see a copy. And then we'll have our public hearing on the 10th. And after that public hearing is closed, then the village board, hopefully guided and influenced by any feedback from the public, can work on the budget until the end of April when we have to have it adopted. So, trustees, you've received the tentative budget, and I now ask for a motion to set a date for the public hearing on that budget for 7:15, April 10th.
So moved.
Okay, that was trustee Israedi. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. All right, so again, 2 public hearings on April 10th, smoking followed by tentative budget. And lastly, we have a, why did I do that in my office? That was good enough. Okay. We have a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a proposal for the Village of Tivoli Broadway Sidewalk Project Phase 2. So last year we did 260 feet east of Bernie's Bridge, working our way out to Clay Hill. And this season we're going to do the remaining 200 feet, which get us opposite Clay Hill. We had a number of prices, and we were taking the lowest responsible bidder in this case, who is J&R Contracting Corp. of Hudson. And I think we actually, Clerk Bruno, I'm going to amend this because this $13,700 figure does not include the $300 alternate. And when I spoke with Crawford this afternoon, we need to change this number to $14,000.
Okay.
Okay. So we will approve that much, and it remains to be seen whether that manhole needs the $300 riser or not. But
Okay.
if it does, we will have approved the full amount, so that's
Very good.
what I did there. All right, I want to thank Crawford and Associates and Ryan Lukes for this work, and everyone who submitted a proposal. And is there a motion to award this work to J&R Contracting Corp. of Hudson? Is there a second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
I also vote aye. It's been awarded, and congratulations to J&R. We look forward to having them come into town, and I imagine this work will happen in late spring. We'll see how fast they are ready to move. All right, that concludes regular business. The next...
Are you ready to talk about these? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The next board meeting will be held Wednesday, April 17th at 7 p.m. For now, we'll say it's preceded by a workshop, but because that's also our reorg, we often decide to skip the workshop that night. So I just want to point out that April 17th is not only a regular board meeting, but it's also our annual reorganizational meeting. And I know these meetings are fun, you can tell by the crowd, but that's a really fun one.
Well, there's cake.
There's cake.
There's cake.
There's juice.
That's right.
There's also all the oaths of office for the newly elected folks, the re-elected folks, appointed officials, and I will keep it short, but I will be delivering the State of the Village address as well. And the best part is definitely the 4 annual Citizen Awards,
Yes.
which we'll be giving out that night. So if you wanted to pick one board meeting to come to in the whole fabulous year of the village board, I would say
might be it.
April 17th is your night.
Yeah.
And we even let you enjoy all the ceremonial stuff, have your cake, and if you don't want to stick around, we do let you leave, but you could stick around for a meeting just like this.
The cake after.
Yeah, no cake until you've sat through
Yeah.
the resolution. We'll see, we'll see.
That would go over.
But we are definitely having a regular workshop on April 10th which, as I said, is also those 2 public hearings, and depending on how the budget hearing goes, we could conceivably close that hearing and get to work also, so we'll see how that is. Moving on to trustee reports, trustee Ezrati, please.
Did you mention a grant that we have received?
The one we got today?
Uh-huh.
I'll get to it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you for reminding me.
Okay. Well, one of the things I always entertain you with is the water report, but I would also like to acknowledge the great job that was done on informing Tivoli residents about changes in the way that garbage is collected. One of the reasons I want to talk about it is because if you actually figure out how to do this, it is incredibly cost effective for you as an individual. It results in the recycling of probably 80% of your refuse, which improves the world, not to be put too fine on it, point on it. And it doesn't involve large trucks with heavy equipment that pick things up and move them around. One of the reasons I'm bringing it up is because our sale of garbage tax has not kept up with the benefit this particular system has for individuals. And consequently, it doesn't cover the cost of the DPW workers who have to go around and pick up this stuff. What we need from the citizens of Tivoli is a greater participation in this and the willingness to sort their garbage in a way that makes it easy to pick up. Which brings us to the actual reason for this document that showed up in your garbage can last Tuesday, which is that the haulage rates for single stream recycling have gone up very high. It greatly increases the amount of money that the village has to spend on it. And if we do just a few things in preparing our garbage, that cost drops by about 70%. The things you need to do is separate out cardboard, break down cardboard boxes, tie them up flat. You need to put paper into a paper bag or tie it up. And then you can put your glass, your tin, your aluminum, your whatever into a bin, which doesn't have to be separated by color or type or anything like that. It's not hard. It's easy to do. It just takes a little time, and it lowers the cost to you in terms of the draw on your taxes. But it also makes it much better for the DPW guys who are picking it up. If we don't get this working, our alternative will be to go to a commercial hauler, and that will be a higher cost. We'll have to charge a surcharge for that. We'll have to go to it in order to get the garbage picked up. The advantage of that is that everybody will be paying for that. And so hopefully we'll reduce the number of commercial haulers that come through the village. Now to the well report. The Ball Lot well, which has been off for most of the year, was off. The McKnight well, which is up on East Broadway, was pumping at 10,000 gallons per day, pretty much. And as were the Potts West well and the 2 Potts West wells were pumping at 10 to 11,000 gallons a day. The 2 Potts East wells were pumping about 20,000 gallons, just under 20,000. And the Woodmark well, which is our best producing well, was pumping around 23 to 25 gallons per day. We had one water main break at 36 Woods Road on, looks like about the 26th of the month. And we're still in the rain and snow strategy, so I can't question the trustees about the amount of precipitation.
Soon.
I was going to win.
All worked out, huh?
So,
Got a system.
yeah. And the fire department, I should say, if you're not aware of it yet, is celebrating its 100th year of service in both Red Hook and Tivoli. They will be having their annual dinner on the 5th of April, unfortunately conflicting with Tivoli's Got Talent, but, Tivoli, lots of things go on, so,
That's right.
okay.
Thank you, trustees Wright, and thank you for going into the sorting of the recycling. We're trying to hang on to that program. It's all about participation, and
Yeah, and we have a lot of people who are really worried about not putting plastics into the ocean, all of those kinds of things. This sorting really helps to achieve some of those goals.
yes, thanks again. Trustee Schneider, please.
All right, the Tivoli Village Court Charge Volume Summary Report for the month of February. A total of 23 charges were received, 34 charges were disposed, and $1,758 was collected and remitted to the state comptroller.
All right, thank you. Deputy Mayor Major.
Well, it's a slow month at the Historic Resources. I think it's the mud season. So there will be big things happening, at Claremont, at Montgomery Place, at Olana, starting in May. So I'm gonna keep y'all in suspense until the next meeting. The library, as always, awesome things. Some of my favorites, Storytime with Miss Penny and Homework Club on Wednesdays with Bard Center for Civic Engagement. Also, there's a program on Thursdays, the next few Thursdays, with the Center for Civic Engagement called Exploring the Science of Food Through Art, which...
You get to play with your food.
Right.
I mean, like, how awesome is that?
Yeah. So that sounds pretty compelling. The big news is April 5th is the fourth
Fourth annual.
Tivoli's Got Talent, and oh yes we do, talent show. There will be magic, dancing, juggling, puppetry, improv, music, drama, comedy, poetry, and more. And this is hosted, as always, by the Tivoli Free Library Board of Trustees. So 6:30 on Friday the 5th. And it is not to be missed unless, of course, you're doing one of the other 47 things they're doing on that
And
night.
that's at Murray's, right?
That is at Murray's upstairs. In what do I want to say? DEC News. I don't have anything to tell you about the canoe launch, but apparently there's a viewing platform that's going to be built down at the Kruger Island parking area, so you can gaze out at the marsh and wave to the beavers and the birds. And I have not seen any ticks yet, but they're out there, they're waiting, and now that I've said it, they've been activated. My final thought to leave you with is that April 13th is International Punch Hooking Day.
Punch cooking.
Punch hooking.
Cooking.
Punch hooking.
Oh, punch hooking. Yeah,
Yes.
got it.
Yeah, and there will be an event
little
to
note
celebrate
skill.
that downstairs at the library, April 13th between 10 and 3.
It's a
And that'll
kind
be
of
the-
hooking?
Presumably.
Okay.
It'll
It
be
involves
the,
punching and, yeah.
and the Tivoli.
It's in the
hookers
fiber
are the
arts.
ones.
It's, I hope so.
Okay. Very good. All right, thank you, Deputy Mayor Major. We got some great news today. Tivoli won yet another grant
Tivoli always wins.
I feel like we need
in the long haul.
Okay.
So it was announced this afternoon that Dutchess County awards $334,000 to municipalities for sidewalk accessibility improvements through the Community Development Block Grant Program. Now, we have had a pretty good track record of winning these CDBGs. This one we put in, we were awarded $40,000 for the installation of 3 ADA compliant crosswalks to improve pedestrian access in the following locations. North Road and Pine Street, which is going to tie in very nicely to our earlier CDBG, Pine Street Phase 2. So there's going to be a new sidewalk from the bus shelter all along the south side and a crosswalk.
Wow.
Sidewalk will come first, crosswalk will be a few months later, maybe even next season, but taking you across North Road
To the sidewalk.
to the sidewalk. We also are going to do Broadway and Clay Hill, tying in very nicely to our 200 additional feet, which get us there,
Sidewalk.
plus the crosswalk across there. There are a lot of people that come walking from Clay Hill Road down into the village, and for the first time ever, I don't know, they're going to get to pick up a crosswalk, cross Broadway, and come all the way in on new sidewalks. So, inch by inch and row by row, foot by foot. So, and lastly, the third sidewalk, which is our favorite, and I just want to say, especially for Karen Cleveland, who I know was sitting right there several years ago asking for this, a crosswalk right in front of this building, serving the Village Hall, the library, connecting to the park. So, we've been working on this project where our downtown loop, Broadway, Pine Street, North Road, is going to have good sidewalk all the way around, and with some crosswalk spurs, and we're getting close to finish with that,
So we
that
can
project.
safely circumambulate the village.
Yes,
Nice.
exactly. Congratulations to the other winners, and the CDBG grant program is federal money that doesn't necessarily always survive federal budgets as well, so it's still there, but it's something that has been talked about in recent federal budgets about
Yes.
bye-bye. I mean, a place like Tivoli absolutely survives on that program, so I just want to say that to the world. And congratulations, Tivoli. Thank you to the Tivoli Fire Department for their wonderful breakfast last Sunday. Deputy Mayor wasn't there. I did have the extra plate of bacon, I promised.
Thank you.
On your,
Thank you so
for
much.
you. It was a great time, and I hope they did well and raised the money. And look for those events when they do them, because they're fun and good food and good community spirit. Also, starting probably Friday and really getting underway next week, we're going to paint the third floor of this building. So we've been going room by room for several years, and we're getting towards the end of that. The entire third floor, the walls are going to be repaired, the cracks, the peeling, repainted, and we expect to have it all ready for that incredibly fun April 17th board meeting, the reorg that I told you all about. So it should be a nice sparkly room, not to be missed, yes. There's also the Empire State Trail, which if you've heard about it, this is coming from the governor and from Albany. This is a trail system that's going to go basically from Manhattan to the Canadian border. It snakes through many places, but it's going to snake out of the Tivoli Bays onto Kidd Lane, up Montgomery Street, through Tivoli, Broadway to Woods Road. I've had a few meetings with the state folks who are pushing this, and they're talking about having some kind of public meeting. I don't know when it is yet, but it's going to be in mid-April. They were saying the 10th, maybe the 11th, somewhere in there. So keep your eyes and ears open. It's going to be held at Town Hall, and they're going to tell you about the Empire Trail improvements from 199 up River Road. You come off the bridge, traveling east on 199, up River Road, through Bard College, and then into the Bays and through Tivoli. So the Tivoli portion is only part of that meeting, but I'm sure we all care about the entire corridor. And in the meetings I've had so far, I see a lot of wonderful things about the trail coming through, certainly Tivoli. Some of the traffic calming or slowing or some of the amenities, the proposal's sort of vague right now, and one of the terms is that they're going to put these things in and then we have to take care of them. So I'm definitely pushing for more clarification and like a final plan. Things like...
Traffic calming device.
Right, so it's not a speed bump or a speed hump, it's now called a speed table, which is plateau. So which is a slow ramp that goes about 3 to 6 inches over 6 feet, 10 feet of flat, and then another slow thing. So you don't have the total bump of a speed bump, but you know, maybe there are places in the village where that's a good idea. Maybe there are places where it's not. One thing I mentioned is if you do anything like that in Montgomery Street, let's look at what it does to the drainage, where we have drainage challenges. Maybe another radar speed sign like we have coming into the village. But, you know, it was a chance for, you know, we're not the engineers, but to say, if you're gonna direct this trail, like up North Road, or Woods Road, excuse me, and then over the village line into that S-curve when you enter the woods, you know, that's a dangerous spot. And so please take a good hard look at that as you design this trail and invite the world to come walking there. So, you know, it's a good start. I'd say things are pretty vague right now, but let's all pay attention for when that meeting's gonna be in April and go there and make sure that what's done in Tivoli fits with our, you know, safety needs, you know, sense of place and historic charm and character.
Inclusion in the Hudson River National Historic Landmark District.
Yeah, so look for that. It's the Empire State Trail. There is work commencing at the McKnight location related to the new water tank, which is coming. So you will see workers up there. There's been some road marking, surveying is starting. They're doing soil samples. We'll see just how much Tivoli clay is sitting on top of bedrock. But they've had some heavy equipment up there and workers, and you'll be seeing activity up there at McKnight between now and when the new water tower is built, a year and a half from now, finished in late fall 2020. So they're supposed to be there. We want them there. They're working. Please give them room to do their work. And that's what's going on at McKnight. The 4,000 daffodils that we've been planting over the years are just poking up this week. I've seen them. It is the first day of spring today, so watch for them. They're making their way out, and it's going to be really nice very soon for us all. And I just wanted to say a second time that we'd love to have everyone come to the reorganizational meeting to share in the celebration of Tivoli, support all our elected and appointed officials as they take their oaths to serve our community for their upcoming terms. You know, it's a lot of work. Some of us are paid some of us are paid nothing. Everything in between, you know, we do it ultimately because we love Tivoli, and so it's nice to have you all there. And of course the 4 Citizen Awards, which I'm not telling you who's getting them, so you have to come that night. So that's it for me. Trustees, is there anything else that anyone would like to say?
No, but, you know, keeping the spot warm for Trustee Cole.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Well, thank everyone. It is 7:39. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Boom.